Let's say you saw a pressing need in your community and you wanted to help out. Let's say you saw a bunch of homeless people who were starving on the streets of your city. Would you steal money from some people in order to give to those homeless people? Would you advocate that somebody else steal from people to give to those homeless people? And would it matter if you decided to steal from them? Would it matter if the people you stole from were rich, middle class, or poor? The reason I ask is because of what Kyle Kulinski asks Charlie Kirk during this Politicon event.
I'm going to give you two facts. I just want a yes or no answer. Jeff Bezos has over $150 billion. There are 50,000 homeless veterans in this country. If you could take 1% of his money to end homelessness for veterans, would you do it?
I hope he gives it voluntarily. I will not put a gun to his head.
That's a no.
I'll tell you why. First of all, that's a false choice. That's a false choice. Let me tell you why.
It's a thought experiment.
Because we have spent hundreds of billions of dollars to try to solve homelessness by taking money from the rich over the last 40 years. You want to solve homelessness? Stop electing Democrats to city like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle.
Donald Trump is president, and we have 500,000 homeless people. That makes no sense.
I don't actually love Amazon or Jeff Bezos, but you're starting to make me like him even more throughout the course of the debate. Jeff Bezos did not make his money going around city to city with automatic machine guns stealing people's money away. Half this room probably uses Amazon on a weekly basis. You have to be innovative. You have to be an entrepreneur. He employs hundreds of thousands of people in an extraordinarily competitive market. He did not get it by being a robber baron. That's how you get rich in countries that are socialist countries.
Wrong.
You get rich in a capitalist society, you must have a good idea. People must believe in that idea and continue to purchase that idea over a long period of time.
There's this thing called a social contract.
Now, before we get into this concept known as the social contract, Kyle Kulinski, who's a self-described social democrat, supports taxing billionaires to redistribute wealth based on his belief that extreme wealth inequality undermines fairness and democracy. He argues that the current system is rigged in favor of the ultra-wealthy who accumulate vast fortunes, often through systemic advantages rather than pure merit. For example, he pointed out on social media that when the richest 8 people hold more wealth than the bottom 50% of the global population, which is 3.5 billion people, the idea of a meritocracy is a total farce. And he may be right. He believes this level of disparity requires a mass wealth redistribution in order to create a more equitable society. What's ironic here is that Kyle's belief is rooted in his undying trust in a government that he himself criticizes every single day on his show. He knows that corporations control both parties, as he incessantly makes the pitch that the Democrat Party is the one we should all go with. With zero logic, Kulinski contends that billionaires and big money donors have bought the government to rig it against ordinary people. And he's right. That's what the government is. That's what they've done. That's what they're doing. And that's what they'll continue to do no matter who holds the reins of power. He sees corporate control of big government as the root cause of issues like income inequality, ongoing wars, and inadequate health care rather than social issues like immigration or transgender rights, which he feels are scapegoated. But he still advocates for progressive taxation by a government he doesn't even trust, essentially taxing the rich who already own government at higher rates in order to fund social programs like a basic safety net, which he notes is standard in other industrialized nations. In a 2022 post on X, he directly challenged the idea that you can't fund such a safety net by taxing the rich more. He said, you absolutely can and you absolutely should. Not only that, Kyle has expressed that extreme wealth concentration, made possible by a centralized federal authority, leads to a corrupt oligarchy, as seen in a March 2025 post where he stated, there should be no billionaires. Tax the shit out of them. If the rich people he wants to tax already own both political parties, then how does Kyle expect that the people who own the government will use that same government to tax themselves? These are truly the words of a deluded man. He believes that slashing taxes on billionaires while raising them on the average person only exacerbates inequality. And that's true. But for Kulinski, redistributing wealth, which is actually theft, and more specifically, it's extortion, isn't just about fairness. It's about dismantling a system where the wealthy, quote, privatize the profits and socialize the losses. And to some extent, I agree, because this is common sense. The current system should be dismantled. But Kyle wants to build a new system where the people in government maintain the same authority and the ability to steal from anybody they want, anytime they want. And of course, government does this through threats of violence and force. And while Kyle claims to be against so-called gun violence, he's okay with the government using their guns to, for example, extract wealth from Jeff Bezos and give it to others who didn't earn it. So if anybody asks, Kyle Kulinski is for government-sanctioned, government-funded gun violence. But this isn't surprising because Kyle's views align with his broader social democratic ideology, which favors policies like single-payer health care, free college tuition, and this living wage idea. Programs he believes can be funded through higher taxes on the ultra-wealthy to benefit those who are less fortunate. And this is where Charlie responds.
Jeff Bezos has over $150 billion. There are 50,000 homeless veterans in this country. If you could take 1% of his money to end homelessness for veterans, would you do it?
I hope he gives it voluntarily. I will not put a gun to his head.
That's a no.
I'll tell you why. First of all, that's a false choice. That's a false choice. Let me tell you why.
It's a thought experiment,
Because
bro.
we have spent hundreds of billions of dollars to try to solve homelessness by taking money from the rich over the last 40 years. You want to solve homelessness? Stop electing Democrats to city like Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle.
Donald Trump is president, and we have 500,000 homeless people. That makes no sense.
I don't actually love Amazon or Jeff Bezos, but you're starting to make me like him even more throughout the course of the debate. Jeff Bezos did not make his money going around city to city with automatic machine guns stealing people's money away. Half this room probably uses Amazon on a weekly basis. You have to be innovative. You have to be an entrepreneur. He employs hundreds of thousands of people in an extraordinarily competitive market. He did not get it by being a robber baron. That's how you get rich in countries that are socialist countries.
Wrong.
You get rich in a capitalist society, you must have a good idea. People must believe in that idea and continue to purchase that idea over a long period of time.
To some extent, Charlie Kirk is absolutely right. Unless that money is given voluntarily, sticking a gun in somebody's face to achieve your desired result is, well, it's criminal. He's also right that billions have been stolen, spent, abused, and misappropriated in an effort to stamp out homelessness, and it's only gotten worse. In the spirit of left versus right politics, Charlie, of course, blames the Democrats. But we know that crimes committed by Democrats are the same crimes committed by Republicans. But because Charlie's playing in the political game, it makes him a hypocrite. While he disagrees vehemently with Kyle's wealth redistribution schemes, he favors his own in the form of taxation to fund the police and military in order to ensure public safety. So in this, both Charlie and Kyle agree. All Americans should be plundered, for their own benefit, of course. And now, on to the social contract.
There's this thing called a social contract.
Oh,
and
this
it's
is
a
good.
very simple thing.
When did I sign that, Kyle? I must have missed it.
Okay, well, you can go live in Somalia where they have none. Good
All
luck.
right, so you believe in the Soviet theory that all of us are nothing more than a collective. I disagree.
I didn't say that. I said there's a social contract.
Who do you think wrote the social contract theory?
Well, I thought you liked the Constitution. I thought you liked our founding
Right, the
fathers.
Constitution that talks about, this is so important. The Constitution actually rejected social contract theory. It said our rights come from what? From God, not from government. That government should not infringe upon your rights. The Constitution rejected coercive government action. The United States Constitution rejected the idea that actually the entire United States Constitution was a warning sign against having government come too much infringing of our rights. This is the actual philosophical debate of our time. Because Kyle, you look at the entire political kind of system and you say, okay, there should be more government action because we must look ourselves first and foremost as a collective. Therefore, Jeff Bezos, the only way he was able to get that amount of money was eventually try to exploit people over a longer period of time. I look at that and I say, wow, that is a beautiful thing that someone is able to create that much wealth for that many people. And guess what?
And not pay his people a living wage until we forced him to.
Hold on a second.
We'll let Charlie finish and then you'll have a response. We'll move on.
I believe in private collective bargaining. I also believe in a booming economy. We have more job openings than people to fill it. If people at Amazon are quite happy, when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said that Amazon's the worst thing in the world, she was responded to by Amazon worker after Amazon worker and said our wages are going up. We have wonderful living conditions.
With Jeff Bezos standing right behind them.
But again, I want to make myself perfectly clear. I'm actually highly critical of Amazon. I'm really glad they didn't get the $10 billion taxpayer-funded contract for their company. However, I will take a definitive stand against the demonization of wealth creation in our country. Because
Nobody's doing that. You're talking to yourself.
Well, your preferred candidate says billionaires should not exist.
But you know what that means, Charlie? Somebody could have $999 million and they're still really rich and they're going to be
so let's
okay.
talk about that.
And we can give people health care and we can give people college.
So let's talk about it. The rule should not be how do we not have billionaires. The rule should be how did we create $22 trillion of wealth in this country? Is it because we have the most people? No. Most natural resources? No. It's because of a market economy that embraces risk-taking, entrepreneurship, and the individual. Countries across the world have tried everything from exploitation and stealing money away. India has more people. China has more people. The only reason China is able to get any sort of form of economic growth, they tried state-run coercion, is they actually embraced more market principles over the last 15, 20 years, despite the evil communist Chinese party. Kyle, here's the question I have for you. Do you believe when people create a certain amount of wealth, from Facebook or Google or Apple or Home Depot or Amazon, the companies that everyone in this room use, Coca-Cola on down, do you believe that's inherently exploitation, or do you believe they had to get that through voluntary transaction and enriching people all the way along the way?
I don't believe it's inherently exploitation, but I also believe we need rules and we need referees. And I also think
I totally
that
agree.
I see shades of gray where you see black and white. And your whole thing is like, oh, the free market is so great, it's so wonderful.
Point.
No, hold on here. Because I'm actually the real moderate on this, because I think sometimes the answer is the free market, and sometimes, yes, the answer is government. Government is not inherently evil either. Government has done a lot of good things. I mean,
So look,
that shouldn't be controversial. If you believe in having the military, you believe in the government. If you believe in paved roads, you believe in the government. Government is not inherently evil either.
Kyle is absolutely wrong here. Government is inherently evil. Government is a group of people who reserve for themselves the right to rob and rule the rest of us. Now, they may say they're doing it for a good reason or a worthy cause, but they cannot give to somebody without first taking resources from others. The lifeblood of government is robbery. It's extortion, it's coercion, it's theft, it's brutality, it's violence. Even George Washington recognized this. He said government is not eloquence, it's not reason, it's force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. The bottom line is, if you take robbery and violence away, you don't have government. And as long as we consent to robbery, coercion, and violence through the psychological demoralization ritual called voting, we will never have a just society. Because the agents of government, emboldened and supported through your vote, will keep robbing and ruling us with the permission of the people stupid enough to continue participating in the slave plantation ritual known as elections. See, that's the power of politics. It psychologically causes people to believe the absurdities of their pet politicians. And those who can make you believe absurdities can definitely make you commit atrocities. If you enjoy these videos and you want to support this channel, you can do it for free. Just like this video and share it right now. If you want to support the channel further, the Cash App and Patreon links are in the description below. And you can now become a channel member. Thanks for subscribing, liking, and sharing. I'll see you in the comments section.